I think you have to have a spirit of humbleness to just really expose your soft spots and say, I don't know this. You're inherently taught that if you do the right things, you do things the right way, then inevitably good things will happen.
Yeah.
And it didn't.
Welcome to Decision Points. I'm Scott Wood, and I'm here today with Derrick Evers. Derrick is the co-founder and managing partner and CEO of Kaizen Development Partners. Welcome, Derrick.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Tell us what Kaizen is.
So Kaizen was a Japanese business term based on a case study that we had when I was doing business school in the Northeast on Toyota, which thematically is continuous improvement. So surprisingly, the name wasn't taken when we started the company.
Hard to do.
Surprisingly, for sure. Especially after being only a little over a decade old now.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a reminder to me and my partners that, like, let's just get a little bit better every day.
Mm-hmm.
So it really resonated with us. So thus, Kaizen Development Partners was born.
And what do you guys do?
We are a commercial real estate developer.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of range everything from commercial office, Class AA type variety, urban and suburban, to we're doing the new Dallas Convention Center downtown, which is a pretty hefty price tag with a few extra commas and a few extra zeros. So and then everything in between.
And so how does Kaizen differentiate itself from, the massive other developers in North Texas and beyond?
Yeah, great question. What I would say is we're principal-led, principal-owned.
Mm-hmm.
We're not trying to be the big, massive real estate company. We're not unlike yourselves, where we're trying to be more white glove service, personalized attention. You can get a hold of the principals, and we're going to be directly involved. So I think that is one differentiator. We're also not trying to be all things to all people. We know what we do well, or at least we believe we know what we do well. And we focus on that. So we're not taking on multiple projects that spread us thin. We try to go deep with relationships and
fewer, bigger, larger projects.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they tend to be more meaningful to us at least.
That's great. Awesome. All right. Well, let's go back. Where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
Yeah. So
and we'll just share. I know a lot of the answers to these questions because Derrick and I have a very long-standing relationship and friendship together. But anyways, where are you from?
I grew up in Detroit, Michigan, inner city Detroit, right off of 7 Mile. So very humble beginnings. I was one of the few people in my neighborhood that had a father and mother in the house from my community. So I was very blessed in that way. But then
would you describe this as inner city Detroit?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Like the movie 8 Mile was the better neighborhood. So I grew up on 7 Mile. But again, I wouldn't change a thing. I was very blessed. And faith was the root of everything that it was foundational to my family and to me and whatnot. So I was fortunate in that way. While we didn't have many material things, we were strong in every other facet. And then later went on to play basketball at Texas A&M. I affectionately refer to it as I've served more water than played, for sure.
Served more water bottles than points scored?
Yeah, for sure. Without a doubt. But that was a humbling experience as well. But I found out very early that I needed to focus on school. So one of the reasons I chose Texas A&M because it has one of the best architecture construction management programs in the country. So that's what I majored in. And so I got my undergraduate degree from Texas A&M. Met my wife there. And we've been together almost 30 years now.
Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's a big number.
It is a big number. Surprisingly, how often you don't see that anymore. But we're very blessed in that regard. Have 3 amazing kids, and
Yes, you do.
yeah, they keep us busy.
Yeah.
But they are the pride and joy and centerpiece of what Monica and I, my wife, do.
So give us a quick rundown. Nick is...
Yeah. So Nick is a senior at University of Connecticut. He plays quarterback on the football team there. He graduates in December. And so we'll see what this next step looks like. He has 1 remaining year to play for his grad year.
Yeah.
So we have some inclinations of what that would look like, whether he stays or he has some other opportunities.
Yeah.
So we'll see what that does. My younger son, Andrew, he was deciding between, it came down to Texas A&M, Penn State, Ohio State, and SMU for him, and he chose SMU.
Yeah.
Much to the chagrin of a lot of folks. But he plays offensive line. So
He's a big boy.
He's a big boy.
Yeah.
He's almost 6'5", 306 pounds. So he's
a big boy.
He's a big boy. Yeah. I'll find his dad one day.
Yeah.
And then we have an amazing daughter that plays volleyball and will be the future CEO of our company.
Yeah.
She's in 7th grade.
Yeah.
And her name is Layla, and she runs the house for sure.
That's awesome. All right, let's go back to Detroit and just kind of early childhood and high school, and what is kind of an early memory, an early takeaway, something that you take from that part of your life. You already mentioned your parents and their faith and that being a center piece of y'all's family, but what else about growing up in Detroit and the inner city and those circumstances have you carried forward in your life and maybe even passed on to your kids?
Yeah, I mean, look, that's a great question. So there are a number of layers with that, I would say. Well, one, I think just being Midwest, you kind of have just kind of a different view on life. It's more grassroots. It's more blue collar, type
Simple.
approach. Very simple.
Yeah.
In that regard. But what I would say, growing up in the inner city, like if I'm being brutally honest with you, I didn't expect to live to see 18. I think I shared with you in the past. When you have that view, it can sound, pretty dismal. You have this weight, this heaviness, this perception of a glass ceiling. You can only achieve so much. But if you're looking at the half glass full, it can also be very freeing.
Yeah.
When you get to be my age now.
Yeah.
I was on a retreat recently, and I said, man, I feel like I'm on borrowed time, which is such a weird statement to make. But when
you're not supposed to be there, kind of.
That's right.
Like, how did I end up here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to live to see 18, and now I have a son that's 22 and another one that's 18.
Right.
So my kids have outstretched what I expected.
And did you have that view be just because of you saw so much around you, so many young men not make it to 18, and it was just sort of commonplace?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a number of my friends that I grew up with that were frankly far more talented than me, that lost their life or were incarcerated or got caught up in the wrong things. Which is very easy to do. But, I was fortunate to go down a different path.
Yeah.
And in some cases, because I was an athlete, that helped because I had a lot of my friends that said, Derrick, no, this is not for you. Leave him alone.
Yeah.
You go this way.
Yeah.
And
you go play basketball, you go do the athletic thing.
That's right.
And that kept you busy and
That's right.
in practice and working out and
Exactly.
training and busy schedule, and
Yeah.
in some ways kept you out of trouble.
It did.
Yeah.
And then having my dad around, which he could help, guide me in different ways that some of my friends didn't have.
Yeah.
I mean, my father was like the pseudo dad to all of my friends.
You're right.
And when they needed advice and guidance and whatnot. And I remember something that my father said to me once, because I remember being jealous because my dad was spending time.
He was available.
He was available to, my friends.
Yeah.
And I remember in my younger years being a little jealous.
Yeah.
And thinking, Dad, like, it's great that you're spending time with, my buddies, but like, I need
What
you
about
to.
me?
Yeah. And, he sat me down and he's like, Derrick, look, I'm always going to be there for you.
Yeah.
I'm only here for a season for these other guys.
Yeah.
And I remember just being taken back and said, man, that was.
Is your dad still alive, by the way?
He is.
Okay.
Yeah, he's still with us. Now lives here in Texas as well.
Great.
Still my best friend
Awesome.
to this day, other than my wife.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he is and continues to be my role model.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so how in the world did you get to Texas A&M from Detroit, Michigan? Like, I wouldn't think that Detroit or Michigan's a big recruiting place for A&M.
Yeah.
And were you recruited? Did you walk on? What was kind of the scenario there?
Yeah. So right before, unfortunately, Detroit became a little too Detroit. It was time for me to leave when kind of had one of my friends, unfortunately, have he got shot in front of me.
Yeah.
And my parents basically just said,
We're out.
We're done.
Yeah.
My mother happened to visit Texas, my uncle that was in Fort Worth a few months prior to this happening, and she loved it.
Yeah.
And my mother said, look, we're done. Let's get as far away from this as we can. So without going to Mexico, we stopped at Texas.
Yeah.
My mother at the time worked for Chrysler. My father worked for Prudential back in Detroit, and they quit their jobs and moved down here. All six of us. I have three younger siblings, two of which went to A&M after I did. My youngest sister went to Cornell.
Okay.
And so all six of us moved into my aunt and uncle's house, which is a small little 3-bedroom house, and with their family until my mother and father could get back on their feet, which was also very humbling.
Yeah.
So that happened while I was going my junior year in high school.
Okay.
So I finished at Euless Trinity.
Okay.
And I was recruited a few different places. Texas A&M, for some weird reason, was on my radar even when I was up in Detroit, obviously. And then it just seems like you had this confluence of events that allowed me to have the opportunity to go there. In my heart of hearts, I knew I wasn't going to the NBA or anything like that. So going into A&M's program made a lot of sense. I was a walk-on.
Yeah.
So it was that the walk-on role is also very humbling. So I could take a walk-on role, or I can take some of my scholarship offers that I had.
Yeah.
And decided, hey, I better go to the school that is going to give me longevity for what I really want to do in life, which is what I'm doing now.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so one, like as you look back at your experience at A&M and you think about, okay, gosh, what a great decision that was, or what a terrible decision that was, or like what's a standout sort of, decision point, and sort of when you reflect on that 4 years there, however long it took to get through, how do you think about A&M today? And that time in your life?
It was such a formative time in my life because I went from a huge cultural shock in Detroit, Michigan, where everyone looked like me.
Yeah.
And went to an environment that no one looked like me.
Right.
And I was on my recruiting visit, actually. And my father took me, and we were going down Highway 6. This is now almost 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Or 30 years ago. And on my recruiting visit, it's after my dad got off of work. So it's late. And back in those days, Highway 6 was a 2-lane road with no lights and whatnot. And my father is not the most mechanically inclined guy, so he had no flashlight. We got a flat tire.
Yeah.
He had no flashlight. He didn't have all the things that we needed in order to
Didn't have a
help
cell
ourselves.
phone with a light on it.
No, none of that. None of that. And there was this pickup truck that pulled up. And again, it's pitch black outside. He pulls up in big country accent, boots, hat, everything.
The whole thing.
Yeah, the stereotypical, okay, you're in Texas now.
Yeah.
And he says, you boys look like y'all in trouble. And, my father and I looked at each other like, we are now.
Yeah. We weren't before, but we are now.
For sure.
Yeah.
And, we told him, hey, we're going down to A&M, going to College Station, recruiting visit, so on and so on. And, he proceeded to help us change the tire and he had everything under the sun. And then afterwards, my father pulled out a few extra dollars to say, hey, thank you for stopping, so on and so on. And he had that big Aggie ring on. He says, no, Aggies take care of Aggies. Welcome to Aggie Land.
You're all good, yeah.
And I remember thinking in that moment, if just an affiliation with this institution can cross so many lines, so many barriers, man, I want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
And that really spoke to me in a lot of different ways. And it was like an introduction to what the power of a network is, and belonging to something and relationships and whatnot. So I was sold.
Yeah.
Like I didn't care what that place looked like. I was like, I'm going there,
That's great. All right. So you enroll, you go into architectural school and then graduate.
Yeah.
And then you met Monica there. You said,
I did.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then tell us about that quickly.
Yeah, she, I don't know. She was, continues to be much smarter than me, other than,
and tougher than you too.
She's definitely tougher than me. And, she was an athlete as well.
Yeah.
And she was a genetics and nutrition major. Ended up going on to be a double master's and so on and so on. So, again, much, much smarter than me. But I was able to beguile her, I'm very, very blessed to have her in my life. She is truly my best friend, my partner in every sense of the word. And we've grown. Like everything that I have, all my confidence, other than my faith, is like she is absolutely my rock. She challenges me in every way you possibly could.
Yeah.
I credit her with all of what we've been able to do.
Well, that's awesome. All right, so you graduate from A&M, and then what? Where do we go? Where do we go after that?
So I had a brief stint. I started out as a general contractor, working for Whiting Turner Contracting Company.
Here in Dallas?
Here in Dallas.
Okay. So you moved from College Station to Dallas.
College Station to Dallas.
Right.
Monica and I both moved up here. Soon after we got married. And then I lasted for about a year as a general contractor because I saw on my construction sites, we were in these in the construction trailers and whatnot, and I saw these gentlemen that would walk into the trailer, and they were the boss, and they worked for Trammell Crow Company.
All right,
and they were making all the decisions, and it's like, man, I want to do that.
I want to be one of those guys.
Those guys. That looks better than what I'm doing.
Right.
And I remember going home and talking to Monica and saying how my day went. And I said, man, I would really love to do that. And she says, well, why are you talking about it? Like, you've never been one to just talk about it, do something about it.
Right.
I'm like, hey, yeah, you're right. So the very next day, I emailed every executive at Trammell Crow Company. And I did the introduction and I said, I'd love the opportunity to visit with you. So I sent it to about 30 of the executives at Trammell Crow Company at the time. And one responded. His name is Ken Lober. And he called me while I was on the construction site. He says, Derrick, I got your email. It really intrigued me. I have about 10 minutes. Go. I'm like, okay. Well, 10 minutes turned into 45 minutes. And Ken said, look, I don't have an opportunity currently, but I'm going to create one for you. He gave me an opportunity to work on a corporate account at Trammell Crow Company at the time. And I said, I didn't care what it was. I just want to be there. And I'll work my way up. And quickly, and so I still credit Ken to this day. He's still a dear friend. And not long after I got into the Trammell Crow Company, they had a mentorship program. And you can request a mentor as part of the mentorship program at Trammell Crow Company. And of course, I just said, look, if I'm going to request someone, I want to request the top. So I requested Bob Slenick, who was at the time, he was the CEO of Trammell Crow Company. Now he's the CEO of CBRE worldwide. For one reason or another, Bob accepted being my mentor, who's still my mentor to this day. And so I got into the mentorship program. Bob had I was one of two mentors or mentees for him. And it was
how long ago was that?
This is this is
context.
So this is now 24 years ago.
And you guys still have
we still have a tremendous
mentoring relationship.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
Absolutely. So still call him friend. And he's been able to guide me through the years. And I learned a lot of different things from Bob. And, from organizational leadership and, big decision type impacts that you can make. And, so he's a tactician. Truly. So just a wonderful human being as well. Until I went to, I got a call one day from Roger Staubach that wanted me to come work for him at the Staubach company. So it felt very conflicted because
Roger Staubach's calling.
It's Roger Staubach.
You answer that call.
Captain America. So I ended up going to meet with Raj, and he
how did he find out about you? How did that come about?
I think he said he's heard about me in the industry and just how I behaved and the type of work that we were doing, and they were growing their real estate development piece. So I was fortunate enough to get one of the calls. So I went to go meet with Roger, and he was amazing. And you talk about learning something else. He became my second mentor. So to this day, I have two mentors. I have Bob Zelenick, and I have Roger Staubach. I don't know that I could ask for anything more in that regard. And two dynamic leaders with different approaches on leadership style. So I was able to learn from both of those great men that didn't look like me, that took me under their wing. And Raj is, he's about teamwork and how do you get people to pull in the right direction, obviously with his athletic background and his military background and whatnot. So just how do you get someone to believe is really what Raj was great at, and probably continues to be, that type of that leader. So
I want to pause here for a second. So mentorship just in general, like as a topic, like a lot of people, I don't think pursue mentors or have mentors. I don't feel like I particularly have had a mentor in our business and our industry, and I feel at a little bit of a loss for that, right? Like because something I didn't have or didn't pursue. What was it in you that said, I need a mentor, or I'd like to have a mentor, or, I mean, it's a two-way street, right? You have to have somebody on the other side who's willing to mentor you, but you have to have you got to have a desire to be mentored as well. And actually, I think, the mentee probably needs to make the first move.
Yeah.
Right. So what was it inside you that sought that out, particularly with those two men? And, might you have been a little intimidated by approaching either of those two guys, or putting Bob at the top of your list? Like, what gave you the confidence, or allowed? I have a suspicion, but I want you to answer the question.
Yeah. Well, one, I think you have to ask yourself the tough questions. Like for me, it was challenging myself to always maintain a spirit of humbleness. I think too many of us believe that we know this or we know that, and I think you have to have a spirit of humbleness to just really, expose your soft spots.
Yeah.
And say, I don't know this, or it's okay if I don't understand that, or whatnot. So I think that's point number one.
Yeah.
Point number two for me, it was like I try to live life with no fear, and what helps me is because I didn't think I would be here. So when you're working without a net, so to speak, you can call the Bobs or you can call the Rogers and say, will you help me?
Yeah.
Because I'm not afraid.
Right.
So that's helped me. Thirdly, I think my faith, just being rooted in just a foundational principle of, okay, I'm not in control of this anyway. It's him.
Yeah.
That's helped me tremendously with my wife, with my kids, with our business. As much as I feel like I can control all of that, I know I don't.
Yeah.
So when you kind of get back to the point of mentorship, it's like, okay, when you don't have the answers, it's easier to say, okay, well, how can I find those answers?
Yeah, and I need some help.
That's right.
Did your father's influence, either just the way he fathered you or the way he mentored some of the kids in the neighborhood, did that potentially have an influence on how you perceived a mentor relationship?
Yeah, I think that was impactful. From a spirit of gift.
Because you saw it modeled.
That's right.
By your dad.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. He was.
So you knew men do this.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. No, absolutely. Well, I mean, my dad, because I guess what I learned from my father is just the spirit of giving. And like my father wasn't a great businessman. Like I couldn't go to my dad for business advice.
Right.
Because he's a very intelligent man.
Yeah.
But he wasn't a businessman.
Sure.
In the classical sense. That's the reason I had someone like a Bob or a Roger or others. But what I did learn from them is it's okay to be vulnerable and to sow into others and have them sow into you. And I think to some degree, my father received as much as he gave.
Yeah.
Through that mentoring that he was doing.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. Yeah. All right. So you meet with Roger, you take the job at Staubach Company, you leave Crow.
Yep.
And that's kind of the next leg of the journey. So what happens at Staubach Company?
So I was there for a few years.
Yeah.
Met some wonderful people. And as part of that, we had a client that led into the next leg of my journey.
Yeah.
And we were building a hospital, or engaged to build a hospital for a client. And it was a physician-led endeavor. And so we were serving in that role in that capacity, and I was running one of the leads in that regard. And the physicians then approached me and said, hey, Derrick, I know this is a relatively new relationship, but we feel like we already have a connection with you. And we would love to have you. We'd like to start a new company, and we want you to lead it. Would you consider it? And I went and I talked to Roger. I talked to my wife.
Yeah.
And
of course.
Yeah, definitely talked to the boss with my wife. It, kind of came back and said, okay, I think I'd like to consider this. In talking with Roger was, he was so gracious. And what he said was, it's like, Derrick, look, how many times in your young career do you have the opportunity to be a CEO? At the time I was 31.
Yeah.
And he said, you need to go for it. And if it doesn't work out, come back.
Yeah.
You'll have a spot with me anytime.
Yeah.
And that gave me some additional confidence alongside my wife to take the leap.
Yeah.
So I did.
That's awesome. It's awesome that Roger has that mindset, right? Like, hey, go do your thing, and if it doesn't work out, come on back.
That's right.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, so it's the Neil Richards Group.
Correct.
Right? And so they're building one hospital at this point.
Yes.
But did you know at that point that they had plans to build other hospitals?
No idea.
You just had the one. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this too. So obviously this is now this is an entrepreneurial venture.
Yes.
Right. And up to that point you'd been, we'll call it a corporate guy. You'd been working for somebody else or working for a company. Was there ever an entrepreneurial itch, along the way, or this opportunity just presented itself and you're like, I got to take this?
Yeah, no, it was always aspirational.
Yeah. Okay. So it's always in there.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I just wanted to operate with no fear in whatever we did. I wanted to do things the right way, treat people well, be faith driven. Look, I'm far from perfect, but very well intentioned. So having the opportunity to just take a leap and bet on yourself.
Yeah.
Again, you had somewhat of a safety net.
Yeah.
With Roger saying,
I'll
come
take
back.
You back. Yeah.
So why not?
So who was the Neil Richards Group? You're the CEO, and then there's some other guys in there with you.
Yeah. So
who was the team?
Well, there was no team.
Yeah.
So I had to create it. So there were two physicians, Richard Toussaint and Wade Barker, that were the visionaries of Neil Richards Group.
And where'd the name come from?
So Richard Toussaint was the Richard, and Wade Neil Barker.
Okay.
So yeah, it wasn't
gotcha.
really
super
innovative.
Creative. Yeah. Okay. Got it. All right.
Yeah. So
just wondered where Evers was in there.
my name was not in there, and I was okay with that.
Yeah.
But they it was their names, and they empowered me to be able to build the real estate side, not the operation side. That was a whole nother animal, which turned out to become infamous. But on the real estate side, everything went extremely well.
Yeah.
I was able to build a team, and one hospital went to 2, and then 2 went to 3, and we continued to grow the portfolio. Again, as Neil Richards Group, we were looking at a myriad of different things, but by far our largest client was the Forest Park Medical Center projects, which is now defunct. But the real estate did extremely well, and it's now owned by a number of the other systems in the market, from the THRs to medical cities and whatnot. So it's great to see those thriving today, based on what we build. Surprisingly, I went through a couple of them recently.
Oh yeah.
And
just for like kind of posterity's sake, just sort of like
well, I mean,
sentimental.
A little
bit of
actually
looking back.
Meetings.
Okay.
Because we had over 300 physician partners.
Yeah.
almost all of them were tremendous people, and current investors,
right,
to some degree,
right.
So going to meet with them and seeing them at their office. I went through the facilities. Not much has changed in the amount of times, which has been well over a decade now. But going back through those facilities, I don't know that a doorknob has changed in some of them. So it's been pretty humbling that you built some timeless pieces of architecture that continue to thrive today for the community.
That's great. All right, so there was a difficult season there.
Yeah, there was.
So maybe just give us like a high-level flyover, just so people understand kind of, what happened high level, because I know there's some learning in there. Before you went on to to Kaizen.
Yeah. So what I would say is that you had a bifurcation between the real estate company and the operations side of the house. We didn't have any visibility or whatnot into the operations side, which unfortunately ran into a lot of trouble, which is really unfortunate because, like I said, the majority of the physicians were tremendous.
Right.
But you just had a small grouping of individuals that just didn't do things the way that they should have. Again, the real estate side went very well and was run independently of that. What I would tell you is the learning is if you feel as though that there are individuals that are even adjacent to you that may not be in alignment with how you do business or your values or your mission or whatever it is, it's not enough to say, well, they're not in my circle.
Right.
Like my lesson was, I can't even be around it. I can't even be loosely affiliated, because we had to answer so many questions during that time about.
Well, you got drug into the middle of it.
Yeah, I mean, inadvertently, because just the affiliation. Yeah. And we're looking at ourselves like, man, we served faithfully for years and years and years, performed very well, built tremendous facilities and whatnot. Yet I'm answering questions of things that we literally have no clue what you're talking about. But just because you have some crossover of certain individuals, you kind of get drug into answering questions. And the lesson learned was, even though you are separated, there is no such thing as loosely affiliated.
Right.
And it took us a while to answer all of those questions, be able to look at anyone and everyone in the eye and say, look, this is what we stand for. This is how we do business. This is how we behave and whatnot. And, fortunately the market knew who we were, and we were able to prove that over time. And that's just through behavior and whatnot. But we learned so many lessons, through that, which has helped us in Kaizen, with our, that we've now owned for over a decade now.
And when you left Neil Richards' group to start Kaizen, I mean, you had to walk away from some things. I mean, it was personally painful.
Yeah.
It was financially painful.
It was.
And so just maybe give us a sense for how you processed through the decision that you made to move on.
I'll tell you, the money part was the easiest part to walk away from. Yeah. Because when you come from nothing, you don't really fear that. You don't like to see that happen.
Sure.
Because you had a lot of value that just dissolved almost instantly. But you were able, when, for all intents and purposes, we were ejected.
Yeah.
They pressed the eject button on us because we didn't want to go along with their direction.
Yeah.
And that was hurtful. And it hurt to your core because you said, man,
did all the right things.
Yeah. We treated people well. We did things the right way. Yeah. We were upstanding all the way through. We were transparent and whatnot. But when you had certain individuals that decided to press that button on us, I would be lying to say it didn't hurt your confidence.
Yeah.
Because you're inherently taught that if you do the right things, you do things the right way, then inevitably good things will happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it didn't.
Yeah.
So that was a blow. And we had to start over from scratch. And, our money was gone. Our reputation was tarnished because of loose affiliation. And, we had to start completely over from zero.
Yeah.
And I remember the date. It was May 15th, 2015. So 5/15/15.
Yeah.
And it was so wild, the symmetry associated with that. But it'll always stay with me.
Yeah.
And as I look back, I now know it was the best day of my professional career.
Probably best and worst.
Best and worst.
Right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Because at the time I thought it was my lowest low. But looking back, what I know about myself is I would have fought to the end to try to make things right. And I think God was just saying, I'm going to remove you and put you over here.
Because it would have been potentially a losing battle.
It was a losing battle.
Losing battle.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you hear all the time, fail fast,
right?
And, whatnot. Well, that's great until you're in it,
right?
And you feel like you have some ownership in the outcome. Until the keys are taken away from you.
Right.
And it was a low point, for me. But again, it allowed me to start fresh. I had to answer those questions. It's like, well, what happened? And, did you know about this or not that? And, we were able to, for lack of a better term, be born again, and start completely over.
So in that moment, I'm sure in the back of your mind, Roger's words of, "Hey, if it doesn't work out, come on back." At that point, did you consider going back? Did you talk to Roger? Did you talk to Bob? Or what was kind of the decision process to start Kaizen and just start from scratch and go it alone?
Yeah, so at that point, I ran my own company for 7 years.
Right.
So
there's no going back.
There is no going back. It's tough after owning your own company and calling the shots and doing well. And so I didn't believe it was, let's go back into the corporate structure.
Right.
So like we immediately said, what's tomorrow look like?
Yeah.
So my other two partners, Nick Somerville and Lee White, like the very next day, we were like, okay,
let's go.
Dust yourself off. Let's roll. We were sitting at my partner's dining room table and said, okay, well, what do we want to be?
Yeah.
We kind of started to scribble things out, and we came up with all kinds of horrible names for our new company and, the meaning of this and whatnot. And, but we knew that what we're doing now is exactly what we wanted to do. So it's like, okay, how do we be tacticians in executing that?
So what is it that you guys wanted to do then? And then, what are you doing now?
Yeah.
Probably the same thing, but it's just how is what you decided to do in that moment evolved, and where are you today?
Yeah,
bring us current.
We wanted, again, to be principle-led, principle-driven. We said no one is going to influence how we do business anymore. It is how we believe we should behave. We're not going to, because we weren't majority owners or anything. Right. We were just small pieces of ownership. So they made all the decisions in previous companies.
Yeah.
So we said, no, if we're going to do this, if we're going to be attached to it, let's have our DNA all over it, and have our thumbprint. And that's what three of us have been able to create. We said we don't want to be a big corporate machine. We said that we wanted to do impactful projects. We wanted to be a member of the communities that we're doing business in. And we don't want to be this big marketing machine and whatnot. We said, okay, we want to do impactful projects, which is what we've been able to do. So we've grown our business from, again, 0 to a little over $4 billion in assets now. Which is tremendous. Something far greater than we were able to do in our previous life. And we're trending to double that in the next 5 years, which is crazy to say.
It's amazing.
From a simple kid in Detroit.
Yeah. So when you left Neil Richards Group and you're in this moment of like kind of the dark of that time, could you ever imagine where you guys are today?
No.
Yeah.
No. When you're trying to dig out from your low points, sometimes you're just trying to get through tomorrow. Like you feel like you don't know which way the punch is going to come from, and it's like, oh, okay,
but you can take the punch.
Yeah. But at least you hope you can.
Yeah.
And there were days where you don't want to get out of bed.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I just don't know what's coming next. And that's when you got to find that resolve in you.
Yeah.
And whatever that foundational piece is for you.
Yeah. What is that for you?
It's my faith.
Yeah.
Yeah, truly.
Yeah.
Like without equivocation. If you were to ask any one of my three kids what our family motto is, our creed, Evers family creed, it's faith, family, then everything else.
Yeah.
It's simple, it's deliberate, but you can ask any one of my kids that. And so because without our faith, our foundational principles, none of the rest of this matters. Family is next, because family is everything. It's behind our faith. It's the reason that we do what we do. And then everything else is meant to be everything else.
Right.
Like truly, because all these material things, as great an advisor as you are for the people that you serve within True North, at the end of the day, that can be taken away. But what are the things that are truly dear to you?
Yeah.
And none of this material stuff matters. It's great.
Right.
It's necessary. It makes you comfortable for sure.
Yeah.
But if you're driven by it and it goes away, then what are you left with?
Right.
So that's kind of where we've always been.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fantastic. All right. So what is the marquee project that you guys are working on right now?
Yeah.
Thing that you're most excited about?
Yeah. I have two, one on the public side, one on the private side. On the public side, we are doing the new Dallas Convention Center, which is, $3+ billion. We're tearing down the existing convention center and building a new one, a little over 2 million square feet. Tremendous, impactful project to the city. In partnership with Jack Matthews, with Matthews Southwest, who's a tremendous man, dear friend, along with the myriad of other folks that we're doing. So the city of Dallas has been a tremendous partner in what we're doing there. And talk about impact to the city.
Yeah.
Just tremendous.
When is that scheduled to be finished? I'm sure it's phased. So
yeah. So there's multiple phases as part of this. Roughly 29.
Okay.
Is completion for that. Again, there's a lot of stuff public that's out there about it. Some of which I can comment on, others I can't. But it's a tremendous asset to the city, and we think is going to drive economic growth to the southern part of Dallas, which is so desperately needed. So it's impactful to me just because of my background.
Yeah.
And being able to drive economic growth and jobs. And
So let me ask a simple question on that.
please.
Just, this is pure curiosity. So right now, the way the Dallas Convention Center is oriented, it's oriented facing north.
Yeah.
Which is where, if you think about sort of the growth, it's all north, but it's oriented north. And then literally on the south side, it's like the back door.
Right.
It's like the warehouse and the trucks back up, and like that's what's facing south.
Yep.
And you just cross over, I guess that's Woodall Rogers right there.
30.
30, yeah. Yep. So yeah, Woodall Rogers on the north. So you just cross over 30 and like it's a completely different
That's right.
Neighborhood and experience. So are you guys doing anything in the design to orient the convention center where, maybe it opens north and south, but the south side of the city is not looking at the back door of the convention center?
Yes. Wonderful question, Scott. The answer is yes. One thing that the city and us collectively have heard loud and clear is exactly that message.
Yeah.
So opening up the design to be able to engage the southern sector, the Cedars and whatnot that's south of 30 was one of the primary objectives with the design.
That's great.
So what you will see now, if you were to log on to the website that the city has up, you'll see the new design and how it engages and orients the building differently.
Yeah. Great.
Because again, one of the core things that we said was we got to fix that.
Yeah. It's a missed opportunity.
It
if
is.
You don't.
Yeah. It truly is. So we've done that.
Yeah.
As part of what we're doing now. I know for Mayor Johnson and the assistant, or not the assistant, but the now city manager, Kim Tolbert. That was core to what it is that they want.
Any conversations at all about covering 30 like they did on Woodall Rogers?
Like a deck park type deal. Yeah, there are conversations.
Which
that's not part of our scope.
Sure, but which would sort of make that transition easier?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, those, there are plans for that.
Yeah.
Others that happens under another
project,
another group, not us. But I think, to your point, very much like what you've seen happen at Woodall, if you can do that at 30 to help connect neighborhoods, it's a tremendous value add for everyone involved.
For sure. All right, and then your private project is?
Private project is a project called Chalk Hill. So we were fortunate enough to purchase the KERA site that's on the tip of Uptown as you come in off the tollway.
Right.
Just directly adjacent to the Katy Trail.
Okay.
So we purchased that site from them. There were 11 of us that went after that site from a developer perspective, 10 blue bloods and us. And we were fortunate enough to be able to connect in a different way with KERA. I mean, KERA has been a pillar of the community for 60 years.
Right.
Everything from Big Bird, Sesame Street, and they have always been the site that you've driven past, not to. We recognize the value associated with that. Yeah. And we were fortunate enough to connect with them on a different level. They moved forward with us. We have now purchased the property. We demoed the existing building. They're going to retain a portion of the property and do a new facility for them, which will be tremendous for them. And I think they described it in the past as taking it from the analog age to the digital age, because it's been there for so long. Yeah. But they're creating something very special. But what we're doing on our 2.3 acres is a 400,000 square foot Class AA office building, a 200 key luxury hotel with branded condos with the hotel. The name of the hotel will be released publicly here in very short order.
Great.
If you're in the market, you probably already know it. Yeah. But it is something we're really excited about and proceeding full steam ahead.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Derrick, thank you for joining us today. just to close us out, the name of the company, Kaizen, continuous improvement. What I know about you is life is all about continuous improvement. So thanks for sharing your story today.
No, thanks for having me, Scott. Really.
Thank you for joining us on Decision Points.